As most Skyblock players will know, almost every skill in the game has a pet which specifically helps to level up the desired skill. For combat, it's the legendary wolf, for farming, it's the epic or legendary rabbit, and so on and so forth. Most people would generally lean towards using a rabbit pet for farming, as that's what boosts the XP gain overall. But what if I told you that this isn't the best farming pet that you can use? Before we go any further, I'd like to quickly say that if you have any further questions or comments about this video, be sure to pop into my Twitch streams. I stream every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The links are down in the description below. We tend to have a lot of open discussions over there, so I highly recommend checking it out. With that being said, let's get right into the video. Alrighty, so as you can see by the introduction there that we are going to be covering a really good farming pet, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what that is. So it's not the rabbit pet, as a lot of people may think, but it's actually going to be the elephant pet. And you may be thinking, how is a legendary elephant pet going to be any good? It has to be legendary specifically, and that's because of the trunk efficiency perk, which grants a certain percentage chance to double your crops while farming. Now you may be asking, why is this perk so good? How does it make your farming experience better, and how does it improve it? Well, obviously it does double your crops. However, this actually stacks with your farming levels. So if I just open up my skills over here and check out that I'm farming 31, you can see that it says that I have a 100% chance to double my crops, and I've also got a 24% chance to get triple crops, which this means that my elephant pet can actually give me up to 6 times crops from just farming in general, because if I get the double crops from the triple crops that I get from my farming level, that equals to about 6 times crops. It's something like that. The fact that this pet can stack with your farming level is really good, so it makes it very nice when you are deciding to farm carrots, potatoes, sugarcane, whatever it may be. You can get more crops from it in general. So now I'm going to get into the results. I did do some farming off camera, about an hour using the elephant pet, then an hour not using the elephant pet. So I'm just going to head over to the bottom of my island over here. We've got a massive cocoa bean farm, which I didn't farm for this video because I would have spent way too much time doing that, but I did end up farming 2 rows of cane, and then I went to my carrot and potato layer. So as you can see, this is an alternating one where I have carrots, then potatoes, then carrots, then potatoes. I've done this just for maximum efficiency. I'm pretty sure that the crops will grow faster when you alternate them the way that I have, but regardless, it doesn't really matter. All I did was I went through my farms one round, and then I went back to the cane farm for the remaining hour that I was farming for until the timer stopped, and then I tallied up all of my results, and I did that once for elephant pet and then once without it. Also, another thing that I do want to mention is that the way that I farmed the carrots and potatoes, I didn't use the normal technique that people use with the water flying kind of trick thing. What I actually did was I would sit in the corner like this, I'd have my cursor like this as well, and then I just farmed it sideways like so, and I kept going down all the way in my farming set, which I did have this one right here. I ran the 3/4 young with the obsidian chestplate, and I put obsidian pieces in my inventory to speed myself up to get faster or slower speeds depending on what I wanted. And I went through up and down carrots, then I went up and down on the potato layer. You get the idea. That's exactly how we farmed it. So now let's get into the stats to see how much it actually earned me and the difference between the two, and I will cut back to you guys when we head over there. Alright, so I'm over here at the results where I've got 2 chests for the 1 hour of farming with the elephant pet, and then I've got the 1 hour of farming with the legendary rabbit. So if I open up the chest with the rabbit pet loot, theoretically speaking, this should give me a lot less crops than what I got in the elephant chest. So I'm going to open this one up really quickly, and you're going to be able to see that we were able to get 11 enchanted sugar canes, about 60 enchanted sugar, and then some random cane as well, alongside 9 stacks of enchanted carrot, almost 10 stacks. We were about 8 of them short, and then some normal carrots, followed up by 3 enchanted baked potatoes, once again close to a 4th one, but also a little bit far away from that as well. And then we got 64 and another 60 of normal potatoes. So that's not too bad. That is pretty solid from an hour's worth of harvest. That will all sell for around 1 mil. I will show you guys how much money it makes later on in the video. But now let's move on to the elephant pet, just to show you guys the difference between the two, and also talk about a couple of things that I want to mention about the stats overall. So if I open up the chest here, already you're going to be able to see that we ended up getting more carrots than we did before with the rabbit pet. So we've still got the same 11 enchanted sugar canes with the elephant pet as we did with the rabbit pet, but we did get a stack and 46 enchanted sugar, which already is a little bit more than the rabbit pet. Not much, but a little bit more. The 2 stacks of cane with another 3. Then we ended up getting a whole row being 9 enchanted carrots plus another 2, so we got 11 stacks and almost half a stack more. So that's already a really big difference. Having a stack and a half, 2 stacks more enchanted carrot then the rabbit pet is pretty solid monetary gain, and you're going to get more money out of it, and that does stack up over time. Then for the potatoes, we ended up getting 4 enchanted baked potatoes plus a stack and almost half a stack more as well. Once again, getting more potatoes than we did in the rabbit pet loot chest. You can see we didn't even make it to 4 enchanted baked potatoes. So already the elephant pet does earn more crops. When it comes to cane, it doesn't earn as much, and I will get into that later on in the video. But now I want to show you guys how much this all sells for, just so you guys get a rough idea on how much money we can actually earn with just an hour's harvest. Alright, so I got the bazaar menu open up here. Just to keep things simple, I'm going to be showing you guys what it looks like to insta-sell all of them, just your whole inventory. We're not going to get fancy with sell-offers here because that would just take too much time and a lot of tallying up and stuff. If you guys want to do that with your own pets, feel free. You will earn more money that way. But if I just hover over this chest icon right there, you can see that I can sell my entire inventory right now for 1.27 million coins, almost 1.3 mil, but not quite there yet. And this is all with the rabbit pets. So I'm not going to sell it all in this video because I do want to keep some of these resources for later on. But 1.3 mil is pretty solid. I would say it's some decent money from farming, considering the fact that farming doesn't earn much money anymore and it was more efficient in the past. I would say that's pretty good. Although now we're going to move on to the elephant pet, and I'll show you guys how much that will sell for, and it should theoretically sell for around 1.5 mil because we did end up getting a little bit more crops from that, but we'll see what the bazaar tells us. Alrighty, so now for the elephant pet loot. As you can see, I've got all of that in my inventory, and the bazaar menu opened up once again. And if we hover over the insta-sell button, you can see that we make 1.39 million coins. So actually a little bit lower than I expected. It's about 20 to 30k more than you would make with the legendary rabbit pet. So already you can kind of see that this isn't as good as you would expect. Being a 17 million coin pet, obviously depending on how high level you get it, it is 15 mil from a Ringo, but you got to give him some wood as well. This may or may not be worth it, although you also got to bear in mind that my elephant pet is only level 67, and that only gives me a 16.8% chance to double crops. However, if we take a look at a level 100 elephant pet, you can see here that it gives you a 25% chance to double crops while farming. Now that is huge, because if you get an average of 1 in 4 crops to be doubled, and if you have a really high farming level as well, maybe even higher than farming 31, you're going to be making a lot more money than I did, because my pet only gives me about a 13% chance, which really isn't that much in comparison to other things. But the reason why this pet normally works out so well for most people is because it just gets better over time, the more you play and the more you level up your skills. So now I've shown you how much money it earns when I farm with my elephant pet, so my level 67 one, and also my farming level. I just want to talk about a couple of things that I noticed with this pet, and some things you should keep in mind before you buy one for yourself. So the first thing is going to be that obviously you need to have a high level one, probably a higher level one than the one that I've got. Mine's only level 67. If it is around like level 80 or higher, it's going to be even better, of course, because the higher level the pet, the more double drops you get, the more crops you end up getting, and the more money you will get in return. But another thing that I also want to mention is if you take a look at our loot once again, we ended up getting 11 enchanted canes with the rabbit and also 60 enchanted sugar versus the 11 enchanted canes with the elephant, and then only like a stack and a little bit more of enchanted sugar. So when it comes to the sugarcane farms, the elephant pet doesn't seem as good for it because sugarcane doesn't really double drops as much as it does with carrot and potato. But in vanilla Minecraft, carrots and potatoes when harvest will give you about 2 to 3 of them, and then in Skyblock with the added perks with the harvesting enchant, with the elephant pet, and also with the farming skill, you're gonna end up getting like 20 to 30 maybe even carrots or potatoes per harvest. So already it's gonna be way more beneficial to use the elephant pet because that's gonna double your crops way better on carrot and potato, more than it will on something like sugarcane. So what I'm saying is that essentially I would recommend you use a rabbit pet. It doesn't have to be legendary like mine. It can be an epic one as it will do the exact same thing. But you want to be using just a rabbit pet to farm for sugarcane, as that'll level up your farming skill and also level up the rabbit pet itself. And then when you choose to farm carrot and potato, you can go down to your carrot or potato farm that with an elephant pet, and that's going to help you make more money in the long run until you're able to level up your elephant pet even more and also get your farming skill up in the meantime. And then for the last point that I want to make in today's video for you guys is just going to be that these stats are not accurate. This video will definitely be outdated in like the following weeks to come, depending on how the markets work, depending on how expensive certain farming crops are, and the demand for certain things. Also, I want you guys to keep in mind that once again, I don't know how many times I'm going to stress this, but the elephant pet that I'm using is only level 67, and this means that I didn't get as many crops as you probably could because I don't have a maxed out one, nor is my farming level really that high high either, and this really only scales up the higher your farming level and the higher your pet level as well. So with that aside, essentially, elephant pet is great for carrot and potato, rabbit pet is really good for cane and just other things like pumpkins as well, I believe, as that'll help you get more farming XP for the crops that don't really double as well, and then the elephant pet will help you double your crops on the crops that do double a little bit better, such as carrot, potato, and maybe even things like wheat. But with all that being said, that essentially is just going to wrap up today's video for you all. Hopefully you guys did find this enjoyable or informative in some way. Just to quickly recap on everything once again, if I haven't said it enough times, when you're going to be farming for crops in general, you want to get yourself a legendary elephant pet for carrot, potato, wheat, and any other crop that does have a larger gain per crop broken. But for everything else, you definitely want to get your hands on a rabbit pet, as this will help you boost your farming level and overall be more efficient in the long run. So now that we've got all that out of the way, once again, thank you all for watching this video, guys. If you do have any further questions or comments about it, however, be sure to pop into my Twitch streams. I stream every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The links are down in the description below. Like I said in the introduction, we do have a lot of open discussions over there, so if you do want to chat to me when I'm live, feel free to pop in and say hello, and we'll talk a little bit more about elephants or rabbit pets or whatever you choose to. But with that being said, guys, hopefully you all did enjoy this video, and as always, take care and peace. ASMR with Gab. Hey, it's me, ASMR Gabriel. Never again, never again, never again.